All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to a special episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe fighting the good fight to help raise awareness to rescue women and children that are sold into trafficking is an amazing way to unlock freedom for those that are most vulnerable. And I'm so excited to bring back Matt Robinson, who's a director with Agape International. He's going to talk about his title, everything he does. And we're going to talk about what's going on with AIM, Agape International, and we're going to give a call to action to you, everyone who's listening, to make a donation to help fight the good fight of ending women and children who are trafficking. By the way, we also talk about Sound of Freedom, the movie as well. We're going to touch on that and Matt's take on that and everything that's going on in his world. Matt, please welcome to the show with me, Matt Robertson. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the opportunity, Brett. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for our listeners getting to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah, so I've been with AIM for 5.5 years now, and I oversee our relational team efforts. We are working in Cambodia and in Belize to end the evil of sex trafficking. And like I said, I've been with AIM for 5.5 years now. Was on staff at one of our partner churches, Bayside Church in the Sacramento area. That's how I first learned about AIM, fell in love with AIM. Oversee our team. We work with individuals, families, churches, foundations, and we are just seeing a ton of growth right now. We're really blessed by the growth that we're seeing, and we've got a great vision for the future, which I'm excited to share with you as well.
Absolutely. And they say that where there is no vision, the people perish. So what would you say is the number one part of the vision for Agape right now and how that's being played out here in 2023?
Yeah. So where we've been working in Cambodia, the community of Svaipak, that was the epicenter for child sex trafficking in Southeast Asia, red light district full of brothels, massage parlors, karaoke lounges. Girls were being openly bought and sold on the streets of Svaipak. We moved in there, we shut it down, we planted a church, and that community of Svaipak is now a model. We've had other organizations and ministries come and study our work and take it to places where they feel called to fight this. Places like Washington State and Santa Cruz and Hawaii. And we've been honored to do that, but we want to be more intentional of coaching out of Svaipak, helping other organizations in the region, and also continue with boots on the ground. We believe that God is highlighting another red light district, another area like Svaipak for us in Cambodia, that we can begin to do outreach similar to how we did years ago with Svaipak, 18 years ago. Started with outreach, started sending teams in there, getting to know the community, the needs. Then we eventually planted a church there, and all those activities that were there were shut down. We believe we have a blueprint now for taking on more red light districts. So boots on the ground, but continuing to coach out of Svaipak, and then do the same thing in Belize. Once we have established presence on the ground in Belize, begin to coach out of there and train other organizations, help other organizations in this fight. Because it's not just about us. It's not about what AIM is doing. It's really about the bigger picture of fighting trafficking and fighting it holistically.
Excellent. So it sounds like you guys have the blueprint. You've proven the model in Cambodia. You're moving and expanding that, and also how to empower others that are also in the fight to continue on and to do the same thing. By the way, if you want to give right now, you can go to aimfree.org, aimfree.org. Fight the good fight is the note you want to put inside of the notes when you're giving. I think it's a $5,000 match. So if we get 5,000 collectively, that gets matched to $10,000. You need to put fight the good fight in the notes. So Matt, so this is interesting, right? Because the Sound of Freedom movie just hit, right? Mm-hmm. And it's exploding across the country. I don't know where the numbers are at now. Last I checked, it was 130, 40, $50 million, right? In rising. But just talk about what you thought of the movie, right? And also how it's helping to spread awareness and showing, what's out there in a way that, inspires action.
Yeah, I was really encouraged by the movie, not only the movie itself and the story that it tells, because of how it's raising awareness of this issue. Uh, People that maybe knew a little bit about it, or even people that did know about it, or really, try and deny that it was an issue. You can't ignore the success of this movie, and all of us in the anti-trafficking space are seeing a huge blessing from this. For AIM, we're seeing people that are giving extra gifts, people that are found us, they want to give to a Christian organization, they're giving to AIM. We've got events coming up at churches that are doing screenings, doing talking about the movie, and so we're seeing a huge benefit from this.
Absolutely. And was there anything in particular about the movie where you're watching, you've been 5.5 years, right? And you're like, wow, the way that they in that context, or the way that they approach the strategy, or anything about that maybe you could pull out for someone who's just not in it every single day like you are, Matt?
Well, I think the important thing to keep in mind is that trafficking is very broad, it's very diverse, it's very complex, and not everyone is trafficked the same way. Sometimes it's through kidnapping, sometimes it's through coercion, sometimes it's families that are desperate selling a child to feed the other children, or to feed a habit. And so it's not just one size fits all. Not everyone is trafficked the same way. So I think it's important for people to realize that trafficking is happening everywhere. It's happening overseas. It's happening in the US. It's happening in influential neighborhoods where people are throwing parties, drawing kids in, drugging them, or promising a job modeling. So it's happening everywhere, and it doesn't happen exactly the same way every time, and not exactly the same way every time it happens in the movie.
Interesting. Yeah. So the diversity of just how this happens, right? Just not thinking it's just a one size fits all, or just overseas, or just in other countries, or just in, less affluent neighborhoods. And it's complex, and it's happening nearby us, right? And that's the sad part. That's why it's going to take massive action and massive awareness, and a lot of prayer, and a lot of fight, and a lot of grit to continue to help end women and children, and men too, right? It's not just women and children, it's also men too, right?
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
more women and children, right? It's diverse, but just all human trafficking. And so, by the way, if you want to take action right now, you can go to aimfree.org. That's aimfree.org, and you can give. And if you were to give, you put Fight the Good Fight, there's a $5,000 match. You put that in the notes. So Matt, let's talk about the SWAT team, and some of maybe some things you can share about the intensity of the training, and the thoughtfulness, and the preparation, and what AIM has done holistically, from rescue to restore, and really send to make a difference with any human trafficking. Kind of just talk about the overview of how AIM approaches everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, to give a quick update on our SWAT team, we launched the SWAT team in 2014 in response to a need. Girls that were being girls that were being trafficked, not being rescued. We had partnered with another organization at the time. We'd give them tips, information on where girls were being trafficked, and unfortunately, there was some corruption there. There'd be a tip off, and the girls would be moved, and the rescue wouldn't work. And so we launched a SWAT team in cooperation with the Cambodian government, which is really important, because not only does that give us full authority to operate all over the country of Cambodia, we are then able to not only rescue the girls, but also arrest the traffickers. So since we launched the SWAT team, we've rescued over 1,600 girls and women, and we've arrested over 550 traffickers, which is really important, because we celebrate every girl that's being rescued. But if you think about, let's just be conservative, and let's say one trafficker traffics 10 girls. Multiply that times 550 traffickers that have been arrested. That's 5,500 girls that have been protected from being trafficked because those traffickers are in jail. So that's a really important thing to think about. But it doesn't just end there. We rescue the girls. They go to a safe place where they can get restoration and healing. We can catch them up in school. We can teach them a life skill and a job skill so that then they can go back into society and be productive. They can provide for themselves and their family. They don't have to go back into the life. So we empower them with jobs, making clothing, jewelry, bracelets. This shirt that I'm wearing was made by a survivor, sewn and printed by a survivor that provides jobs for them. And then we have a huge focus on preventing this from ever happening, or protecting the vulnerable, as we say. We started a school that has over 7. We planted the church there in Svipok, as I mentioned, that does outreach in the community and reaches families that are in desperate need, and maybe families that are thinking about making the choice of trafficking one of their children. But if they had repairs on their home, or if they had food, they wouldn't have to make that choice. And so we're able to intervene in those situations and protect children from being trafficked.
Fantastic. Let's talk about the financial, I guess, even responsibility and stewardship of the giver, those who are giving. And my family is a part who gives to Agape. And just how, there's outside groups that do audits, right, to make sure that is efficiently as possible. So I think Agape scores in some of the top out of all charities. So would you kind of break down what that looks like and how Agape has scored recently?
Yeah. So financial accountability, good stewardship is really important to us. Transparency. We are a 4-star charity on Charity Navigator. We've achieved that 9 of the last 10 years, which only about 1% of charities ever achieve that 4-star rating that many years in a row. So people have confidence that when they give to AIM, it's going to go to a good cause, but it's also going to be used for what we say it's going to be used for. And to further kind of round out the financial picture and the match that you have. So it costs us about $5,000 to do a raid, from the investigative work, the work in the courts to get the warrant, to execute the raid, to do the raid itself, and then the follow-up aftercare that we do immediately with the survivors. That costs about $5,000 to do a raid. And on average, we rescue 5 girls. So we always say it costs about $1,000 to rescue a girl out of trafficking. And that $5,000 match that you're putting up is going to help fund a raid and help rescue 5 girls. So if those people that are watching can give up to that $5,000 and match that, that's another raid that we'll be able to do.
Amazing. Absolutely love that. And so 4 stars, just to clarify, that is the highest you can achieve, right? And you guys have done that 9 of the last 10 years, and only about 1% of all charities that are ranked are actually have that type of performance. And so I want to applaud you for that, because I think that's so important to know that being good stewards and financially responsible to make a difference. It's both make the difference and be great financially is so important. Matt, what haven't I asked you so far? Maybe we can talk about Belize, or we can talk about anything else that you want to encourage anyone who's listening with Agape, what's going on, the movie Sound of Freedom, or anything else that comes to mind right now.
Yeah, so you asked about Belize. We're really excited about our work there. We're in the process of opening our second restoration home there. We launched our work there in 2020. Even during COVID, we were able to expand and open work there. The first restoration home that we opened was for older girls. We've since handed that off to a national organization that's running that. We trained them, we prepared them, coached them, and handed that off to them for them to run, which is a great story. That now there's a Belizean organization that's running this aftercare center restoration home for older girls, which then allowed us to then open up a new restoration home for younger girls. There is nothing like this in the country. We've identified a beautiful facility that used to be a study abroad course learning center, built to Western standards, just set apart in the jungle just outside of the city, a beautiful location where we are going to be able to open up that restoration home in Belize, and we'll have space for 24 girls in this new restoration home. So we're really excited about our expanding work there.
Fantastic. Absolutely. And you can give right now by going to aimfree.org. That's aimfree.org. And in the gift, whether it's $25, 50, 100, whatever you feel called to give. If we can get up to 5,000, we have a match up to 10, but in the note, put fight the good fight so they know how to track that properly. Matt, it's been 15 minutes here and we've covered a lot of good ground. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for fighting the good fight. I want to thank you for over 5.5 years of service, using the gifts and talents that you've been given to be a blessing and help to others. If people want to get in touch with you, what would you say the best place for them to find you is?
Yeah, so my email is mattr, M-A-T-T-R, at aimfree.org, and would love to answer any questions that people have, provide follow-up information to this podcast. And Brett, I just want to say thank you. I've known you for years. You've used your platform, used your voice, your influence for good. Love the work that your day job, love the work that you do to help people with their capital gain solutions. But the way that you and your family have been so generous to AIM and helping us fight the good fight, can't thank you enough.
Well, Matt, it's we're grateful to be a part of the fight and to be able to entrust, working or investing with people who are working on the front lines. And so thank you for doing everything you're doing. And thank you for the kind words. And again, one last thing, everyone, if you want to give right now, please do give something. Go to aimfree.org. It would mean the world to Matt, to me, to Agape, and to most of all, women and children who are being rescued right now in Cambodia, in Belize, to continue to keep the momentum moving forward. Go to aimfree.org, put fight the good fight in the notes. We appreciate everyone listening. Please share this. Please put a like button, put a comment that helps to move this in the algorithm higher to rank so more people can see this. Even just say, hey, great job, or just gave, or way to go, anything. Comment, like, share, that increases awareness. And so please do that. And go see the movie, Sound of Freedom, if you haven't seen it yet. Support. All of it helps in every single way. Thank you so much. And we will talk to everyone again